Are you passionate about hair color? Do you want the world to know? Then get ready to become a Redken certified hair colorist. There's a certain level of acclaim associated with being a Redken certified hair colorist. This exciting program recognizes and rewards hair colorists who possess exceptional technical skills and who are truly talented. Once you become a Redken certified hair colorist, you'll be able to use this prestigious title to set yourself apart and expand your hair color business. Redken will provide special recognition to certified hair colorists on our websites. Plus, your clients and other professionals will respect your hair color expertise as a hair color authority. The Redken Hair Color Certification Exam consists of 3 timed sections: the Hair Color Challenge, the Hair Color Solution Challenge, or the scenarios, and the Technical Assessment. To become a Redken certified hair colorist, you must successfully pass all 3 portions of the exam. This exam will assess your technical skills, your knowledge of Redken hair color products, the principles of hair color, and your approach to hair color formulation, application, and color correction. We're glad you have chosen to get started here with your exam. All stylists who register for the Redken Hair Color Certification Exam will receive a study kit. The kit includes the collaterals and tools you need to prepare for all 3 portions of the exam. Watching this video and practicing along is a great way to prepare for the technical portion of the exam. Inside the study kit, you'll find a study guide, which contains all the information we will be going through on this video, and of all the collateral materials necessary for the exam. A mannequin with a table clamp to use for practice and to bring to prep night. You will also receive Redken color gear that can be used during the exam. If you have your kit already, you should use it and follow along with this video. Make sure you have a notebook and pen. You'll want to take notes. We're going to share how and what to study for the comprehensive written challenge and scenario portions of the exam. We will also take you step by step through the technical portion. This will prepare you with the information needed to study further for your exam. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. Let's discuss the written exams first: the Hair Color Challenge and the Hair Color Solution Challenge, or the scenarios. The Hair Color Challenge consists of multiple choice questions on the principles of hair color and all Redken hair color brands. Every question comes directly from the collateral materials you receive with the study kit when you register. The important thing to remember is that there are no trick questions. The best way to prepare for this exam is to read the study guide and the Redken collaterals provided in the kit. Study in bite-sized bits. There's a lot of information to get familiar with. If you try to take it all on at once, it could get overwhelming. So just pace yourself and don't forget to use your resources. You can also watch the Principles of Hair Color on our Education on Demand, or go to redkenpro.com and discover the Improve Your Skills area of the website. These educational areas will help you to gain the knowledge and skills you need to pass the Redken Hair Color Challenge. Before you start the exam, we give you a blank piece of paper. It's a good idea for some to brain dump and to draw a color wheel or any other information that will help you relax, knowing it's already written in front of you. You can use this paper to assist in tracking the rows on the bubble score sheet. You may want to write down questions you skip to think about as a way to remind you to go back and answer. You don't need to memorize every shade of hair color by name, but you will need to know the mixing ratios, the gray guidelines, key ingredient technologies for each brand. Since it's a multiple choice, sometimes using the process of elimination is helpful when you're not 100% certain. We go over any questions you may have during the prep night, so you can make sure you'll know exactly how the exam runs. This portion of the exam runs for 90 minutes. Each answer is worth 1 point, and you will need a score of 85% or higher to pass. Let's move on to the other written exam, the Hair Color Solution Challenge, or the scenarios. The Hair Color Solution Challenge consists of 5 multiple choice and 5 essay questions. The first section is based on various hair color scenarios a hair colorist may be faced with. For those 5 multiple choice questions, you'll simply select the best possible answer. For each of the 5 essay questions, a specific situation or question is given, and you'll be asked to apply your hair color knowledge. You will also be asked to explain differences in the topics based on the principles of application and foil placements. During the Hair Color Solution Challenge, you're being evaluated on your knowledge of application techniques and procedures, formulas, pre- and post-treatments, and processing guidelines. You may need to explain the reasons for the problems or challenges that are encountered, the why behind your answer. You're not being evaluated on spelling or grammar, and your answers may be in bullet point format as long as your thought process is clear and we understand what you're trying to convey. Here's a list of topics that you should be familiar with to prepare for the hair color solution portion of the exam. Hair color going too dark, hot roots, corrective color, color fading or browning out, lifting and depositability of hair color products, applications and how they may vary. While the ability to examine situations and correct them comes mostly from experience, familiarizing yourself with the Redken hair color portfolio of products and principles of hair color will help you decide the best answer for each situation. This portion of the exam runs for 90 minutes. Each multiple choice question has a best or second best answer. A multiple choice question is worth 5 points for the best answer and 2 points for the second best answer. The essay questions are scored from 0 to 5 points. The passing score for this portion is 85%. Let's go through the third and final portion of the Redken Hair Color Certification Exam, the technical exam. The technical portion of the exam evaluates technical application skills. There are 120 minutes allotted to take the technical exam. Evaluation for the technical assessment is broken into segments: setup, 4 quadrants of various foil placements, a retouch demonstrating both a bowl and brush and applicator bottle, a refresh using a bowl and brush and applicator bottle, and finally, overall neatness. Each area of the technical assessment will be evaluated on the following scale. 5 is excellent, 4 above average, 3 average, 2 below average, and 1 is unacceptable. A total of 50 points is possible. The average score in all areas must be 80%, 40 points out of 50, or above average to pass. To put you at ease, everyone attending the exam is thought of already as being a 5 in the mind of the evaluators. You are already highly qualified when you walk into the room. It's just the little things that cause deductions along the way. So let's go through the technical exam so you can see exactly what skills you need to work on and how to maintain the highest possible score. We will also offer you a few pointers along the way to make your exam go smoothly. If you're going to work along with this video, you're going to need the following: a mannequin. We recommend the pivot point Diane provided in your study kit. Gloves, hair color apron, 4 color brushes, foil, 2 towels, 2 color bowls, foiling comb, sectioning clips, measuring cup, applicator bottle, and your Redken hair color formulas to apply. Some optional tools may include a timer, a whisk, a mini spatula, a foiling board. We're going to be using a Redken lightener and 30 volume for our foil work. We use Redken Color Fusion 5N mixed with 20 volume and Shades EQ 05N Walnut mixed with processing solution for our retouch applications. Keep your lightener unmixed until you're ready to work on the foils, and your Color Fusion and Shades EQ unmixed until you're ready to work on the retouch and refresh sections. Now that you have all your tools ready, let's get started.
Let's begin with the setup. There's 7 minutes allotted for this portion of the certification exam. During this time, you'll unpack your tools, section your mannequin, and place your lightener in a bowl. Let's take a look at how the tools are laid out. There's a towel placed below, and all of the tools are neatly displayed. The foils are smooth, even, and neatly stacked. All towels and tools are clean. The lightener is completely mixed, and the mannequin is sectioned. Take a look at the sectioning. There's a straight parting separating right from left, and another separating front from back. The back is divided and clipped into 4 distinct areas. Don't forget to wear your apron and gloves when mixing your color. You may even place your gloves in the bowl when setting up to remind you to not mix your product before putting on your gloves. Go ahead and take time now to set up your tools. Use your timer and set it for 7 minutes. Use this time to lay out your tools, section the mannequin, and mix your lightener. Hit pause now. Welcome back. Now that your tools are ready, we're going to work together and practice the foiling segments of the technical assessment. There are 20 minutes allotted for this section of the exam. There are 4 required placement categories: horizontal, vertical, diagonal back, and diagonal forward. Each area is evaluated separately. Your gloves must be worn throughout the exam. Evaluation is based on the following criteria: sectioning, clean and neat partings. Subsections of each foil should be 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick. The space between the foils, or the distance, should be 1/2 of an inch thick. Subsections too thick or too wide will result in a lower score. Placement. Complete the required placements and the proper direction for each section: horizontal, vertical, diagonal back, and diagonal forward. Stitch. Use of the required stitch per section: micro, standard, slice, or slice, skip, slice. Application. The technical competence with tools will be evaluated along with proper coverage of subsections during the application. No blurring at the top edge of the foil, and no twirling of the ends of the hair with the product. No excess product on the foils or close to the edges. Saturation. The amount of product applied to the hair. There should be no dry ends or spotty areas. The consistency of application, and even distribution of the product and the distance from the scalp within the foil. Securing. Foil should be neatly folded and secure to personal preference. Only the end result of the application will be assessed. Avoid slipping, bleeding, or dragging of the foils, and over-direction of the hair into the foils. And finally, incomplete. The amount of work done within the time limit is assessed. Strong representation of all stitches and placement of lines within the time limit is required. A minimum of 3 rows in each section must be completed. Keep in mind that this is the minimum. If anything should happen to be wrong in one of those rows, you would see a deduction in points. We highly recommend going beyond the 3-row minimum. To maintain a perfect score, the section must be completed. Vacant sections will result in an unacceptable lower score. You may start the foil in any section you prefer. We're going to begin with our horizontal placement. This will be in the bottom left area at the back of the head. Left-handed people may find starting on the opposite side easier. You are not evaluated on where you start. The horizontal section is typically the easiest area to foil, so it's a great place to start. Take a 1/4 to 1/2 inch subsection of hair and a fine slice, skip, slice stitch from the top of this section, and place it onto a foil. Apply the lightener from scalp to ends. If the ends are longer than the foil, simply fold the ends of the hair up into the foil. Don't spin the brush and lose control of the hair. Fold the foil and make sure it is secure. Take another 1/2 inch section of hair and take another slice, skip, slice, horizontal section of hair. Make sure not to take a chunky weave. This can contribute to uneven saturation and loose placement. Your stitch should be no more than a 1/4 inch thick and should be fine enough to read a newspaper through it. Place the hair onto a foil and apply the lightener, making sure to saturate evenly from scalp to ends. Do not turn the brush vertically at the top. Keep the brush horizontal in the section. Fold and secure the foil. You may also find as the width of the head increases, you may need to take 2 foils side by side to prevent over-direction and to complete a row. Side-by-side foils count as 1 row. Pace yourself if you see that you're moving efficiently in this area. If you're using a timer, allow approximately 5 minutes for each foil section to maintain your pace and complete on time. Next, go to the vertical section. Use the vertical parting from your sectioning as a guideline. If you choose to work from the outside in, make sure to drop that first section, as the hairline is diagonal and can cause your foils to be placed diagonally. Take a fine 1/4 inch slice stitch and place it onto a foil. The slice should be fine enough to read newsprint through it. Take the lightener and place it onto the hair, as before, from scalp to ends. Fold the foil to secure. Measure the width of this section using your first 2 fingers. If this section is wider than a peace sign, just drop the bottom 1/2 inch from the section. Do not release more than a 1/2 inch of hair. You may lean the mannequin head as far down as it will go, but also be careful that the head does not fall off the stand. This could help place the foils without too much strain on your body. Skip a ½ inch of the hair and take another vertical slice. When introducing the color brush to the hair, consider beginning approximately 1 inch from the scalp. Then slowly work your way towards the edge of the foil. This will help to avoid bleeding. In a vertical section, it can be easy to lose control of the ends. Make sure to gently fold the hair into the foil and saturate evenly. If the foil is slipping, try using a foil board for extra support. Make sure the section is fine and direct the hair onto the foil. Check your time. You should have at least 10 minutes remaining out of the total 20. Remember that to maintain a perfect score, you must complete each section. Now let's move to the top right area at the back of the head. We are going to be placing the foils using diagonal back placement, moving down towards the nape. Stand in front of your section and use the partings from your sectioning as a vertical and horizontal guidelines for the section. A diagonal is considered to be 45 degrees. Take a diagonal subsection with a micro stitch and place it onto a foil. Apply the lightener evenly from scalp to ends. As you move further into this section, keep double checking your angle and change your body position if necessary. Remember, the head changes shape, so your body position will move as the head rounds. Skip a ½ inch of hair. Take your next micro stitch. Make sure that you're still at 45 degrees diagonal. Fold and seal the foil to avoid any slipping or bleeding of the foil. At this point, check the width of the sections. It is probably too wide for only one foil. Consider using 2 foils side by side in the parting to accommodate the width of the head. There is a difference between having 3 complete rows and 3 complete foils. Remember, the minimum requirement is to have 3 complete rows. In this area, you may need more than 3 foils to complete 3 rows. Take a diagonal micro stitch, place it onto a foil, and apply the lightener, making sure to saturate evenly from scalp to ends. Do not turn the brush vertically at the top. Keep the brush horizontal to the section. Fold and seal the foil. Make sure the foils are neat and able to see that they're clearly from the same parting. If you're timing yourself, you should now have 5 minutes remaining. You may use a timer or phone to time yourself, provided that there is no alarm or sounds that would disturb other examinees. Last section. In this area, the foils move diagonally forward down towards the chin. From the back, it will seem as if we are simply continuing on from our last area. However, treat this area as if you're starting fresh. Check your vertical and horizontal partings of the section and use them as guidelines to find the correct diagonal. In this section, we use a standard stitch. Place the foil and keep the angle at 45 degrees. Place the brush 1 inch below the top of this section and saturate. And gently move the lightener up to the top of the section without changing the angle of the brush. Make sure you have the correct body position. You may need to turn the mannequin to assist in your placement. Fold the foil, making sure it's secure. Remember to check your body position with each subsection, especially in the diagonal areas. The wrong body positioning can cause placing the foils vertically. Be careful when folding the edges of the foil to avoid over-direction. Remember to check the width of your sections as you move further up the head. If the section is wider than a peace sign, divide in half and place your foils side by side. After 20 minutes, time is up. You will be asked to step away from your mannequin during the evaluation process.
Take a look at the foils on your practice mannequin. How do they look? Are they neat and professional looking? Do they look average or above average? If you need an outside opinion, ask a trusted friend or coworker to assess your foils. Ask them to check for bleed marks and even saturation from scalp to ends. The more honest the feedback, the more successful you'll be. Now that we've completed the foiling sections, let's move on to the retouch portion of the exam. 15 minutes have been allotted to mix color and complete both sides. The retouch application is evaluated in the following 7 areas. Direction. Are you following all the directions of the exam? The required application type per section, meaning that we're making sure you're putting the right application of bowl and brush or applicator bottle on the correct side. Your subsections. Are they clean, neat partings? Are they 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch? Diagonal partings are required. Gloves. You must wear gloves throughout the exam. Zone 1. We're looking to see that your application of your retouch is up to, but not beyond, that 1-inch Zone 1 area. The product. We're looking to see that you're using the required product for the retouch in the correct area. Are you mixing the product correctly? And application. We're evaluating your technical competency with an applicator bottle and with a bowl and a brush. Saturation, the amount of product being applied to the hair. We're looking to see that there are no dry ends or spotty areas throughout your application. We're looking at the consistency of your application. Is it even distribution of product through the Zone 1 area? Neatness. We want you to avoid getting any color on the skin. And incomplete. There is an evaluation based on any sections that are incomplete or not completed within the time limit assessed. Both sides are evaluated separately in the 2 required application types, bowl and a brush and an applicator bottle.
Mix your color fusion formula, 5N and 20 volume in a color bowl, and use your Shades EQ 05N formula in an applicator bottle. Make sure you're wearing your apron and your gloves. You may begin the application on either side. Here we will begin on the right side with the bowl and brush application. Start by folding the foils in the back out of the way. They have already been scored, so you may fold them as you wish. Here's a hot tip. Add a clip in the back to help hold the hair back as you work on the sides. Outline the section, leaving the hairline untouched. It's a good idea to use a short bristle brush in this area for control, but it is not required. We will work top to bottom for the retouch application. Take diagonal partings and move the hair back and away from the face. Maintain fine subsections to ensure even saturation of color. Make sure application stays within Zone 1, the regrowth area, approximately the first 1 to 1.5 inch of hair. Avoid pulling the hair too tight or applying too much pressure, as this could cause color on the underneath section to migrate beyond Zone 1, resulting in a deduction. As the section gets wider, it may be helpful to divide the section in half. Keep the partings diagonal. On the side, there's often a tendency to extend the application beyond Zone 1 or the regrowth area. Try to avoid this and keep the application consistent. Work until reaching the front hairline. The hairline needs to be saturated, but you want to avoid getting any color on the skin of the mannequin. Make sure the application is consistent and not spotty. To help with neatness, it's recommended to keep the hair up and away from the face. Do not pull the hair down once the application is complete. Now it's time to work on the left side. Use your Shades EQ formula in an applicator bottle. Like before, outline the section first and take diagonal sections. Here's a hot tip. Use the nozzle of your tint bottle to spread the color. The nozzle is narrower than your thumb, and you will be less likely to spread the color beyond 1 inch. This will also keep your hands free of color, lessening the chance of color getting on the midshaft and ends of the hair. If you must use your thumb, make sure the application is neat and controlled. Avoid spottiness in the application. Remain consistent and maintain even saturation. Do not undersaturate, leaving spots uncolored, and do not oversaturate. Signs of oversaturation are dripping color, no distinction between partings, and the hair looking matted or weighed down. As the section gets wider, divide the hair into workable sections like before. Lightly apply an even bead of color and work the color up through the first inch of regrowth. Keep the application consistent on the sides and try to avoid going beyond zone 1. Work with diagonal partings until reaching the front hairline. Apply color to the hairline as before. Try not to apply extra color and just use what's already there. Keep the color off the face of the mannequin. Applying barrier cream or using a protective foil at the front hairline is unacceptable for the exam.
After 15 minutes, time will be called. And once again, you'll be asked to step away from the mannequin during the evaluation process. Let's move to the refresh portion. There is 15 minutes allotted to mix your color and complete both sides of the refresh. If an area is left incomplete, it will result in a lower score. Here are the things that we're going to be evaluating you on. Directions. Once again, we're evaluating your comprehension of the directions during the exam. Are you using the required application on the right side, the bowl and a brush, and the applicator bottle being used in the correct sections? Subsections. We're looking for clean, neat partings, 1/8 to 1/4 inch partings. Gloves. Gloves must be worn throughout the exam. Product. Use of the required product for the refresh in each of the areas. Application. We're looking at your technical competency with an applicator bottle and with a bowl and a brush. And neatness. We want you to avoid getting color on the mannequin skin. Saturation. We're looking at the amount of product that you apply to the hair. We're looking that there are no dry ends or any spotty areas mid-shaft. And consistency of your application. We're looking to see that it's an even distribution of that product from zones 2 to 3. We're looking that there's not any missing spots anywhere, and we're also looking that there's not any oversaturation of product. And incomplete. The amount of work done must be done within the time assessed. Remember, incomplete sections result in a lower score. You must complete the refresh portion within 15 minutes.
Start on the side where you finished last. In this case, we will begin on the left side and continue to use our Shades EQ formula in an applicator bottle. Stay with the same diagonal partings that were used previously during the retouch. Take a fine section of hair and apply the color thoroughly from the end of zone 1 through the ends. Make sure that the ends are completely saturated. Gently lay the hair down and direct it away from the face. Take another section and do the same. Make sure that there is no gap left uncolored between the retouch and refresh areas. Do not leave any areas uncolored. Here's a hot tip. If you're having trouble getting an even application, run your comb through the hair first to remove any tangles and keep the section smooth. Continue to work up to the top. Take the same diagonal sections as in the retouch. Taking sections other than the original will cause tangling of the section and slow you down. If the section is too wide, subdivide it in half to make it easier to work with. Keep the saturation consistent through the ends. Do not leave the ends dry or uncolored. Watch out for oversaturation in this area. Maintain control with the applicator bottle and be aware of how much product you are using. Use your thumb or nozzle to help spread the product evenly. While the refresh is being evaluated, so is neatness. If color drips on your mannequin during your application, don't panic. Simply stop what you are doing and wipe it up. Continue on as normal. As you reach the top of the section, avoid mashing the sections together and adding more product. Leave the subsections separate and saturate them thoroughly the first time. Adding more product and mashing the sections together can lead to oversaturation and uneven processing. This will also result in a deduction of points. Complete the left side and move immediately to the right. There's 15 minutes total to complete both sides of the refresh application. On this side, we will be using our color fusion formula with a bowl and brush application. Start at the bottom and work your way up to the top of the section. Use the same diagonal partings that were used during the retouch application. If your sections become tangled when dropping down your sections, it's because you are not taking the same original sections used in the retouch. For this application, try using a wide, long bristle brush for speed. This type of brush can hold more product and can make spreading easier. Work the color through with your fingers as before. Make sure to saturate the hair evenly all the way through the ends. Leaving the ends dry or uncolored will result in a lower score. In the widest areas, separate the section into workable pieces. Do not leave any hair uncolored between zones 1 and 2. Again, leave the subsection separate and do not mush the hair together. Work with a steady pace and continue in this manner until reaching the top. Once the application is complete, use your remaining time for housekeeping. Remember, along with the refresh, neatness is being scored here as well. Make sure there are no color drips or stains on the floor around you. Wipe up any drips or spills at your workstation. And check your mannequin for stains. Arrange your tools so that they look presentable, and refold your towel to hide any color. When your work area looks good, step back and let the evaluation begin.
Congratulations on showing interest towards becoming a Redken certified hair colorist and participating along with us in this video. Remember, to become a Redken certified hair colorist, you must successfully pass all 3 portions of the exam, which assess your technical skills, your knowledge of Redken hair color products and principles, and your approach to color formulation, application, and color correction. The first step towards becoming a Redken certified hair colorist is to register to take the exam. You can register online or by calling 1-888-REDKEN-4, or just visit the other section on our professional website. Once you receive your study kit, we encourage everyone to watch this video over and over again and to follow along. Many stylists have told us they registered with a coworker or a friend and were able to study, practice together, and support each other in attending the exam. We also offer a complimentary prep night prior to the exam and highly encourage everyone to attend. We will walk you through the exam with the evaluators, and the experience definitely helps take away the jitters. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you at one of our hair color certifications and becoming recognized for your exceptional technical skills and knowledge.